Breaking news, this just came in not too long ago. Sony failed in regards to the Helldivers 2 PSN account requirement. They just walked it back with an announcement. They said, Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account leaking update. The May 6 update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account leaking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. Give yourselves a round of applesauce, ladies and gentlemen. This is huge. This shows that providing support, giving enough backlash to companies, to huge corporations like Sony, will work in the long run if you speak out. This whole situation was wild. Imagine having a game as heavily praised as Helldivers 2 that is said to be changing the way that live service games work, and then 3 months into its lifespan, they decided to try to force you to link a PlayStation Network account to your Steam account. That went over like a fart in church, did it not? The backlash was immense. You saw that the review scores on Steam went down. I think just today, this morning, before they made this change, they had over 200,000 negative reviews, and they were delisting this game in countries where PlayStation Network is not allowed. And this was not a good look. This easily went from being a Game of the Year candidate to being one of the worst backlashes we can ever see in gaming history. But now we don't have to fear. Sure, they're still trying to figure out what's going on. They literally are saying they're still learning what's best for PC players, but I don't get why it's such a hard situation for them to figure out. Are they really this desperate to try to control moderation? Do they really want to ban people this bad where they're trying to figure out some kind of weird, wacky solution like enforcing a mandatory PlayStation Network account link? Who really knows? But hey, they listen to us. And that's a first this day and age when it seems like so many of these companies are starting to go the way of the wokeness, censorship, controlling stuff, bending the knee for people that want to control what a toxic gamer is. And it's refreshing to see that us speaking up as consumers actually made a difference. Yeah, it took them all weekend to figure this out, but now it looks like this game is going to be safe. Hopefully they don't decide to do something just as asinine or something as stupid, because there is potential for this game. Again, like I said in the past, I've been hearing a lot of people praise Helldivers 2, saying that it's everything that games like Call of Duty and other live service games should be. But when this popped up, boy, was that a pie in the face for these companies. And that shows that no matter how good a game does, if it's bound underneath some kind of like corporation, like Sony being the publisher for it, at any moment's notice, they could try to enforce a stupid decision. And I got to give Sony a small little pat on the wrist, like a thank you for going around and changing this, because it seemed like they were double down on it. This morning, I made my video saying Sony is doubling down on killing Helldivers 2 because they were going to just remove the game, delist it from countries that didn't have access to PlayStation Network, instead of backtracking on this. And I'm glad that there was a lot of people hammering this on social media. A lot of people were calling it out. Grums, again, he does God's work on Twitter, but there's also Hypnotic and other Twitter channels that are actually doing really good work covering this whole Helldivers 2 situation. And I did my part. I made my videos. I gave my thoughts on about it. I had a few little Helldivers 2 fanboys and bootlickers come in here and call me wrong and all this and that. But if we were really in the wrong, would Sony have made such a big deal about this and backtracked? No. So we won. I think gamers won today, and it's exciting to see what's next in regards to this. I think more often than not, we should voice our feedback when a game company or a television company or a music or whatever, when these corporations, these huge companies that run our entertainment, say and do stupid things. I think we need to come and speak out. Now, does Sony really care about the gamers? Let's be real here. Probably not. They just got too much heat in the kitchen and they couldn't handle it, so they got out. So I'm not going to suddenly jump on the Sony bandwagon again and give them all the props and credits. And in fact, I feel that maybe they're only doing this because the heat got too much. They thought they would get away with this. They thought that they could start enforcing PlayStation Network account linking on Steam games for all their PC games coming forward. And yeah, I think that the only reason why they're apologizing is because they were about to lose a lot of money from people refunding this game. Steam was starting to refund gamers for refund requests that had the game for months by now. So they had to have started to see a little bit of a loss here that caused them to panic quite a bit, because at the end of the day, corporations function by money. That's just the way that it goes. Money talks, bullshit walks. And if you start to dig into their wallet a little too much, they don't like that. And matter of fact, they hate that. They start to panic. That's when board members and investors and stockholders and all the people that wear suits and ties start to get involved and ask what the hell is really going on here. And it really seemed like nobody knew what was going on. Arrowhead, one minute you had somebody claiming that it was their idea and that it was their way to ban things. The next minute you see that they're saying Sony's idea was behind this and that Sony wanted to implement this. And then you see people saying it was always in the terms of service, and then it was optional, and then it wasn't. It seemed like nobody knew what was going on. And even the owner of Arrowhead said they have no idea what's going on. So it caused a bit of a backlash, honestly. And Twitter has been on fire the last couple days. My videos alone got some pretty heavy response. Some people were pretty angry about it. But I think for the most part, I was pretty fair in my opinion that if they would have chosen this route, they definitely would have killed this game. The player base would have dropped off. You can already see with the stats and everything going on that the player base was indeed dropping and reviews were just getting lit up. So, of course, Sony is going to change their mind as fast as possible because, again, this was going to hurt their money. And they can't have that. Big corporations can't have that. So we won, guys. At what cost? Who knows? Hopefully they don't make any more stupid decisions. I'm hoping that the hashtag Free Stellar Blade movement gets a little bit more noticed now. Maybe people will be more vocal and we can get that situation fixed. But stand up for what's right in your gaming. Stand up for what you believe in. If you're very passionate about something and it's going to be anti-consumer, like forcing countries that don't have PlayStation Network to not have access to this game anymore, say something. There's going to be people that are going to be like, why are you crying? You just 5 minutes to make an account. They don't see the bigger picture when it comes to gaming as a whole. Just because a problem doesn't affect you, like if you're in a country that has PlayStation Network and you can make one, doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak up for the people that don't have access to PlayStation Network. Help all the gaming. And that's where the difference lies in people like David Jaff, who I can't believe created God of War and he's turned into an insufferable piece of crap, over people like Grums. There's a stark difference here. We won. I'm happy. You're happy. Let me know your thoughts down below. Helldivers 2 no longer requires this PlayStation Network requirement.